Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome back to the NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis. And in the studio with me today, my lovely hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Miss Daphne Lynn. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good, baby. Thank you for asking. I think we're going to be probably wrapping up on the this little marathon we've been doing for the last few episodes. So it looks like we're going to have probably like 4 total. We've already done 3 on this particular subject.
Right.
So we're going to do one more, and we'll probably do more down the road. It's just because it's such a popular, topic and something really a lot of us are concerned with, or.
Right.
It does affect a lot of us, and that is the topic of hell and the afterlife and things like that.
Yeah, and the comments from these experiencers has been outstanding. I mean,
it's incredible.
You could tell spirit just was flowing through this the whole time.
Yeah, there's a synchronicity with all these comments too. They're
exactly,
all in harmony with each other. Well, for those of you who are just visiting, welcome to the NDE World Podcast. Those of you who are returning, welcome back. Welcome back. Yay. And don't forget to go to the website, all of you guys, for more information on who we are and what we do. The website actually is NDE.world.
NDE.world.
Yeah, and you can go there and find all different types of subjects and topics and things like that on different episodes and podcasts and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's topic, and it's on the subject of hell. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the question real quick that was asked, and we'll jump into the actual replies and the comments there. And I quote, "The topic is hell." And this person asks, says, "But I want this to be a discussion rather than just saying that there is no hell." Okay, and so they asked, what did you learn in your NDE about hell? What is your perspective on hell? Why it's there or not there? And who would go there and why? So you can see how this is a pretty serious question. It's a really good question.
Right, yeah.
And of course they topped it off with, "Please specify if you had an NDE, near-death experience, or not when you post. Now, let's be courteous and respectful of one another's view."
Yeah, and there's been just beauty in these answers for this topic, and I appreciate the way the questioner brought out, be respectful of each other's views. Now, this is from experience. Most of these comments have been from experience, so it's something that it's not a belief system.
Right. Most religion is a belief system because you don't really know. You're just kind of
Exactly.
taking everything on faith and reading it.
And that's why also in the question it said, instead of just saying there is no hell, because most of your experiencers come back saying there is no hell, there is no religion.
Right.
So that was stipulated in the very beginning of the question as well.
Which is kind of like why a lot of these people who have actually had these experiences actually really go into a lot of detail in these comments. You can tell these are the people who have had actual experiences compared to those who may have read it in a book.
Exactly.
Or just read a book, or they've just been indoctrinated, maybe through their religion or so. They don't really know. Good people.
Yes.
But they're only going by, like you always say, blind faith. You're only going by what people are teaching you and telling you, and all. So it's the difference between that and these near-death experiences. That these are actual, real life experiences, and they're all over the world,
and they're in unison.
All different backgrounds, and they're all in harmony. So well, let's go ahead and jump into the first one, Daphne. If you want to go and take that first answer, the first comment in today's episode to that actual question, and we'll just go and break that down.
Okay, so it says that people have been brainwashed for generations by those who wanted to have control over others' lives and prosper from laying guilt trips on others, like believing in hell. Hell is a man-made concept. It has nothing whatsoever to do with a spiritual reality. Because of the conditioning from an early age about there being an actual place called hell, they are afraid not to believe in hell, fearful of going to a place of torment because of what they have done or did not do that they felt they should have. My question: what kind of quote-unquote unconditionally loving God, of whom you are, would create a place to punish you eternally? The truth is, God, source, whatever you want to call it, had nothing to do with creating what mankind calls hell. Religious dogma keeps the concept alive for the same reason it came into being: to control people's lives and profit from laying guilt trips on their followers.
I love how just up front in your face, hell is a man-made concept. We have to understand hell is a man-made construct. It's not part of life.
Yeah.
It's not part of the original creation of things, you know.
We were covering that on yesterday's episodes, how...
Tertullian?
Yeah, that. It's the thought of that guy wanting to see the people who went against what he thought and believed about things. He wanted
Right,
to
his
see
opponents.
them punished in a place of torment forever, and him sitting up high laughing and loving the fact that they're hurting.
Right.
That is inhumane. That is horrible. The wrong kind of thinking for any human to have.
This was a Catholic pope or bishop or one of the earlier Catholic, leaders, When you
That's
really
horrible.
get into it and look into it, you understand that, Christianity is a Catholic religion, okay? But they are claiming that they've taken it from the original Jesus and the original Christianity, and they kept that, alive. No, but it goes deep. We're not even going to go down that avenue
Yeah,
today,
I mean,
but
really,
it's deep.
really think about this statement. You tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. It's not the truth, but the perceived notion of it being truth.
Absolutely, and people know that, especially those who are running the world. They know, indoctrination is powerful. If you show somebody enough time, and the secret, catch them when they're young.
Yeah.
Catch them when they're young. Same thing with Earth. What is most people when they go to school, when you're in school, I'm talking about from kindergarten, first grade, what do you have a globe up on the desk, to indoctrinate you that we are on a spinning ball flying through space to nothing. No, we're not. Earth is solid. Earth is fixed. Earth is level.
It's a construct.
Yeah, it is here. It is not moving. The other planets, what we call planets, the wandering stars, and the sun and the moon, they all rotate above us. They're just, a few thousand miles up. And I've spent years upon years into this. I'm not even going to go down that avenue. But the point is, when you catch somebody young enough and you put it in their head, and put it in their head, after a while, it becomes part of their belief system,
Right.
And you don't even question it. You don't even question. Most people won't even question it. They think we're on a ball, and that's what science has proven. No, science hasn't proven that.
Right. It's just, we have to, and there's a YouTube channel out here called this, Unlearn the Lies. And that's what you have to do. You have to rewire all of your belief system from birth up until your age that you are now. Look up Darius J. Wright. He covers what we were just talking about in depth from his out of body experiences, what he has been shown about the Earth plane.
Even the Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy has been having OBE since he was a child, and he's at the age of 16, he kind of started really going back into it and really started trying to control it to the
Right.
point of it just became something that he can control at will to go off into that other world. But he's come back and said, time again, yes, absolutely, Earth is flat. Earth is a level plane, and it is inside of a firmament. We are inside of some kind of a dome type, something. You can
But
look
we're
at the
not
stars.
the only one. According to his drawings,
It's
really look
many,
this guy
many
up.
dimensions.
Yeah.
Like that's even within this construct of Earth and the firmament,
Right.
and the stars and the planets. Even within this construct, there are multiple dimensions
Yeah.
and spiritual dimensions that we can't even see. So yeah, it gets deep. But
Yeah.
there's another subject for another episode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, back to the comment here. I like the part here, Daphne, where this person asked the question. Now, if we are all under the impression or taught that God is love, God
And
is
we are.
unconditional love, okay, and that we are God, we are a part of that, okay? I like how this person brought out here, it says, what kind of unconditionally loving God, of whom you are, okay, would create a place to punish you eternally? Would you like to comment on that? 'Cause that's a hang-up for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's a very well put question, and we have covered it. I think on yesterday's we actually commented on this as well. But when I was young, my family was taking me to church to incorporate religion into our lives, acknowledge the spiritual side of us. That was my red flag to what religion taught.
Yeah.
It took years to find the answer to that. But when you ask something, it will come to you. It may take a while, but you'll learn the answer sooner or later.
Especially if you're persistent.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, what about this part right here? It says that the truth is that God, or source, had nothing to do with creating what mankind calls hell. Mm-hmm. And they always blame it on God. Well, God's going to torture you there. That He's going to torment you. He's going to punish you there, because your sin. Well, started off with the sin, started off as wicked, started off as enemies. Now it's Jesus. If you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to go burn in hell. It's a joke. It really is. When you really and then
It's for control.
Then you've got the religions out there that teaches, well, hell is just the grave. Well, hell is, what's the word? Analogous with Hades and Sheol, Hebrews,
Right.
And Sheol. But it's more than just the grave. It's a lot of things to a lot of people, and it's not really one specific thing that you can say. Like you can say,
says that,
like the sun. You can look at the sun, that's the sun, but you have so many different concepts of hell.
Yeah. In the book of the Nazarene, what death is, Yeshua says in the book of the Nazarene that death is the doorway to life, not to grieve over those who have transitioned.
Especially if they're doing right, if they're living a life that they're supposed to. Read the full comment there.
Right.
So if you just say that death is the doorway to life, that could be for everybody. Well, yeah, you can look at it like that. He specifically said death is a doorway to life for those who are living in the law, those who are walking in the way, those who are keeping that vibration up high, those who are eating right, those who are loving, they're pouring out that God. Mm-hmm. That's a certain level of vibration that these people are living at. There are things we're all going to have to deal with from our actions on this side, in a loving way. It may not be what we've all been taught, whatever, but you're still going to have to go through certain things. You may have to recuperate from all the stuff you've done. You may have to really, I don't know. I really don't know. I hear a lot of stories,
Right.
But it's a whole different scenario on the other side than it is here.
It is.
And the last part of this comment here, I like it says that religious dogma, okay, that's your religions, and their belief systems, keeps the concept alive for the same reason it came into being. To control people's lives and profit from laying guilt trips on their followers. Any comments on that?
I'm just gonna leave that one alone because we've been saying that for a while.
Yeah. So again, it's a power thing. I remember years ago hearing a story where this preacher was telling this lady about her husband. He had died and he was actually in hell, and he told her that her husband was in hell. But as long as she kept paying or tithing,
She could buy his way out.
Yeah, but he told her that the devil, either the devil or the demons, has him by the hair of the head, holding him over the flames of hell, dipping him into them fires. As long as she's paying, I mean, stick with me now. I know that's stupid as it sounds, but this is the truth. Holding him over the fires of hell, and as long as she's paying him, they won't drop him in. Okay,
Now,
and she looked at him. She said,
he ain't got no hair.
that's
How
what
he
it was.
doing that?
Yeah. She said, I don't know how that can happen. She said, what are you talking about? He said, well, my husband's bald. He don't have no hair. So anyway, I don't know. It's a power thing. It's all made up to control your minds. Don't let it influence you. Don't let it control your mind. Just be the best version that you can be.
Exactly.
Love all, harm none. It's that simple.
It is.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next one here, Miss Daphne. Would you like to go ahead and maybe read that next comment there?
Sure. Of course. It says free will is a free gift. God would not have given us free will if he didn't love us enough for us to have it. God would not have given us something free because he loved us if he was going to hold it against us. Same thing we were saying earlier. The only consequence we face as a result of doing wrong is the one we put on ourselves. The Life Review. More proof that there is no condemnation. There is only a loving God.
Very good. Well, that's got a lot of stuff, and it really makes a lot of sense too, Daphne. You know, that if you have free will, God gave you free will. And it says here that you wouldn't have this free will, okay, if you weren't loved enough to be able to have the free will and to do what you need to do. You have to learn how to do these things, you know, and you can't abuse free will, I believe. I believe you can abuse it. You know, I think you have to learn and have an actual, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be active in learning. As long as you are persistently learning and growing, I think you'll be fine. But you can't sit back and, you know, let the world pass you up and, you know, maybe ride on the shoulders of your religion and just, you know, pointing the finger at everybody else while the whole time you're just, you know, rotting inside. You really need to put forth the effort as an individual to better yourself and get on a good vibration. You know, start eating right. Start, you know, moving that body more. Get out more. Start loving more. Healthy, just a whole healthy lifestyle. That means spiritual. That means physical. That means emotional. That means mental. That means, you know, it's going to keep you on a certain vibration. And what vibration you're at when you die, from what I understand, will affect where you're going to be at on the next side.
Exactly right. You know, so you know, and looking at this, I mean, it's been brought out in other comments throughout this 3 or 4 episodes we've done here that, you know, God would not have given us something free because he loved us if he was just going to hold it against us. I mean, really think about that. He gives you free will, but because you don't do what he says, he's going to punish you now because of giving you that free will.
Well, I think what we have to understand to go with that thought, Daphne, is that God has been personified. Okay, once something is personified means turned into a person. Okay, we as humans, we have to do stuff like we don't understand God. Okay, we don't understand the spiritual. Well, maybe we're supposed to a lot more than what we do. Okay, but that's hearsay. Okay, the truth is we don't. The truth is we live in this physical world and we have a physical mindset, and a lot of us forget who we are. We forget our divinity. We forget our path. We forget on our purpose of life. We do. You know, a lot of us do. So within that context, you know, when you personify something, okay, and I've even noticed here in your comments and stuff like that, you know, we have to be careful of even the personification mindset, because we are still saying God as a he, God as a person, God is he. It's a he. It's out there. Right. We have to understand and stop saying that he that, and say I am, we are, I am, we are. And you know, if God is all, if God is source, if God is spirit, then God is not a he. So when we say God is a he, that God, he did this, he did that, he did that, we are speaking from an indoctrinated mindset of a personification of a deity. Okay, right. If God is spirit and God is all, then God is not a person. You know, so if it's not a person, then we can't give it the he pronoun. Okay,
exactly. You're right.
And God is both male and female, or masculine and feminine, however you want to look at it.
Right, masculine and feminine. The energies.
Mother and father, you know.
Right.
So when you really look at it from that perspective, and then we are the children of that, if we're all, everything is life, everything is growing, we are the offspring of the mother-father energies, you know. Mm-hmm. That's what the magic is. Then you need to learn how to live like a God. In other words, not an ego God. Okay, not that, hey, I am God, bow before me. No, that is not what that means.
That's egotistical, yeah.
Yeah, no, what God means you, like Jesus. If you love Jesus, if you're a Christian, then he was a role model for what God is, okay? Then you walk the walk like he walked.
And that's why he continually...
What he talked and taught, you know, all of that good stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why he continually said, the Father and I are one.
Right.
I mean, and
I pray that they all are one. Did he not say that right there in John 17?
Be of one mind.
Oneness, yeah. This is something he taught.
Stating right there that we are one with everything on this plane.
Do unto others.
Or
Love all.
should I say in this universe, because the plane is just the physical that we walk upon and the sky above us, right?
Yep.
And so the universe would be everything outside of that.
Actually, universe will be everything.
Yeah.
You, me, things we don't see, here, there, all of this out here. Universe
The
is,
seen and
is
unseen.
everything, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But now we're talking about multiverses. So, universe is like there's one verse that contains everything. Now there's this, some of this quantum theory stuff coming out that multiverses, so that really gets you thinking.
And even these
and even
NDEs,
happening right now as we speak. There's other multiple dimensions that are taking place, from what I understand. But I don't know. But I'm learning it, and a lot of it does resonate. It does make sense,
It does, most definitely.
Because really, all we know is what we've been taught and indoctrinated as children growing up in the school system,
Right.
the education system, which is a joke.
Right, and even these NDEers come back talking about the multiverse and everything existing, in different realms, but yet at the same time. That's what my mind goes, whoa, gears go to grinding, and it's like, whoa, let me stop and really meditate on this, because it can be very deep. It's one of those things that put your boots on, y'all, because it's going to get deep.
Gonna get deep.
Yeah, but just really trying to wrap my mind around that everything is existing at the same time, but in different dimensions and
Yeah, because we're here in the physical plane. We're creatures of linear time. I mean, things are kind of in a row, in a linear fashion. We look at, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That's kind of like how we've been conditioned and programmed. But from what I understand, on the other side, it's not like that. It's a whole different concept of time. And it's almost like time doesn't exist, or it's just a different form of what we would even call
what we
time.
perceive as
it's
time,
definitely not like what we have here, from what I understand. Okay, moving on along. So this next comment, I'll go ahead and read it. It says that this next comment, I mostly agree, but I have also come to think that if you refuse to engage in the life review, which is shown to you by the light or the source or love, which you call God, and you can, which is free will, but to turn away from the light of truth means to turn to the darkness away from source. Staring into the abyss of darkness is where your worst ideas about yourself, the reality you just left, and the experience you just had manifests into the kind of self-inflicted torment similar to the experience with severe depression.
which could be hell.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's that free will. I've never heard of anyone not going through their life review from the experiences, but I mean, I have heard it stated and read that, because of free will, you can refuse to go through your life review, but I haven't really heard of anyone
doing it.
Actually refusing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is new to me, the actual life review refusal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me get you thinking. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on along. Would you like to take that next comment there, Miss Daphne?
Sure. The body contains the ego, which is a built-in mechanism to keep spirit energy in matter form, fight or flight in most physical life forms. Our egos have evolved away from having to keep us alive so much as to constantly reinforce our separateness. Though if stress hormones are triggered too hard for too long, that is when we see things like anxiety and panic attacks, quote unquote, ego turned against us. We will die. Ego dies too. It does not come with us. There is no little me voice to justify all the negative words and deeds we did while in the body. We have to watch our life review with complete honesty from the perspective and heart of those we said or did to them. For even those who would generically consider themselves good, that can be a very painful experience. It was for me and changed the way I deal with people.
Yes, you hear that a lot as well. Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. All right, let's talk a little bit about the ego here. It says that the body contains the ego, which is a built-in mechanism to keep spirit energy in matter form. Interesting.
What is the ego?
It's really the soul. I know you want to give me the acronym part here, but
How do you know that?
it's just a wild guess. But really, the ego is just how the soul identifies itself, how you identify yourself in this world. And a lot of people say destroy the ego or the ego's bad. All this, no, it's not. You just need to get the ego under control, and
Right.
and make sure it's not influenced so much from the world or the dark side or that negative energy. Take it and keep it in a good way. But a lot of people, when you think of ego, it has a very negative connotation. Oh, he's got an ego. Yeah, probably does if he's more into himself or herself or whatever. There is that part of the ego. A lot of people say you got to destroy the ego, but I'm kind of with a lot of others out there. Say even like Darius you had mentioned earlier. No. Ego is you just have to have a healthy ego. You need to be able to have all that under control.
Exactly.
Because you've got to function here in the world. You've got to have that means to be able to function. Like it says here, that's tied in with the matter, the body, the physical. But it's not who you are. It's just how you relate to yourself here in this incarnation.
Exactly. Well, yes. To follow up with that, to follow it with the acronym that I was going to say, what is the ego?
Ego.
Yes.
Edge God out.
Exactly. and that's what we've done with this physical form. We have edged God out and taken on our own identity separate from our divinity.
Right. And that goes in what I was telling you a while ago. Everybody's saying he. No.
Just
no
say the
such thing as
divine.
he. Say I.
Yeah.
And if you can start speaking in that first person, I am life, I am alive, I am source, I am God here having this experience, I am a spiritual being, I am.
I can be that I am.
Don't even say that I can be.
That I am.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there in Genesis 3, I am that. I am.
Exactly.
So next comment here says, nothing is pure evil if it has the capacity to love and be loved. To me, love is the answer to everything. Someone as, quote unquote, evil as Mussolini still had the capacity to love, whether it's his dog or a wife. But when you bring heartbreak, destruction, devastation, and death, there will be consequences. Hell? No. But your essence must right the wrongs you have done to this world. Nice.
Exactly.
That ties in with that life review. Reminds me of anyway.
Right.
So what do you think about this? Nothing is pure evil. Okay, so even like it used that Mussolini, we know he's got a history like I don't know, like Hitler or something. These guys are these are like the big players in the destruction world.
Right.
But it says they still have the capacity to love. If they had a wife, they had moms and dads and sisters and brothers and families, kids, dogs, cats. So they probably still had that. But like it's brought out here, because of this world we live in, when you throw this kind of stuff into the mix, people go through heartbreaks and destruction and devastation and death and all. It's going to affect you in a way that could turn you into something that you're not, So you don't know what these people have been through that's caused all this major destruction and all. We don't know. It's not for us to say. It's not for us to say, well, Hitler's in hell. He's getting what he's deserved. How do you know that? Mm-hmm. How do you know that? When did you, decide to take the position of, God and taking over and calling the shots? No, you don't. You just don't.
And it just reminds me of soul contracts, why people experience this or that in their life and deem it good or deem it bad. I mean, it is all just life, existence, experiences.
It's probably because it's something that you need to grow as a soul. If you come here and you got like a really tough life, or somebody didn't do this, or you had to deal with that, or whatever, or what, I don't know. From what I understand, everything is happening for a reason. Nothing is out of place in the sense. Everything is right where it needs to be. But I really don't know. Because I can look around and see both good and bad in the world.
I do too. And what comes to my mind is the homeless. Okay, we have had dealings recently with some homeless people, and looking at what they may have been through in their lives to be where they are at the moment. A lot of people's going to look at them and say, oh my gosh, poor pitiful them. They don't have this, they don't have that. But really stop and think, really, they don't have the worries that a lot of us have. with the responsibility of upkeep of everything. I mean, their life is really simplified.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, that is a good perspective. It's a true perspective, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different ways to look at different things.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
And
comment.
you know, coming and talking to these people really is amazing, because when you come up to them, you think they're just going to be just depressed and just down and out and just miserable sounding people. But the majority of them are very upbeat. They're in really good spirits. And, you know, if you help them out, you know, oh, thank you. And even if you don't, just coming up talking to them, I mean, they really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think most of humanity has gotten caught up in the corporate world, caught up in the business world, the money world, the commerce world.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about the almighty dollar. It's no more about almighty God, you know. And and that's what's wrong with people. They're so about themselves. They don't really have that empathy for others as they should. All of us, should have more than what we do. And you see that the fruition of that taking place around the world. That love is dying off, You do have some growing and that movement of people starting to wake up and acknowledge it as well.
I think the ones that have been through some kind of NDE or OBE or having an awakening, a spiritual awakening, they are resonating on such a higher level than a lot of mankind and are able to raise Earth's vibration itself because of all the negative, the balance.
The conscious, what do you call it? The group consciousness. There's a word for
the
that.
Collective consciousness. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. If you get the more of the collective you get to go doing the right thing,
because when you see it all as love and you're all one, that it connects. It's the oneness that's out there. I mean, and when you connect with that oneness, it grows and strengthens.
Yeah.
So it raises that love level and helps everything and everyone.
That is that Christ, the Christ consciousness, that consciousness.
Yes, some
rising.
people call it Christian consciousness.
Yeah. So, all right, we've got a couple more little short ones right here. We'll go ahead and read them real quick here, and we'll go ahead and wrap things up. This one says that I was told on the other side that all souls are redeemable, and the plan is that they will all return to the light eventually. Some may take centuries.
Beautiful. Okay, so exactly. I mean, we hear so many of these NDEers coming back talking about everyone is welcome. Yeah. Everyone.
Right. It just may take more time for each one of us to get to where we need to get.
Right.
But Jesus said that in the Gospel of the Nazarene. You come here, you learn, and then when you go to the other side, you'll make sense of it, do what you got to do, and then you can come back, and then you have to work on you as a soul, as a complete soul. So that's what you're here for. You're to learn these lessons. If you don't learn it, you're going to have to come back and do it again, for what I understand. And when you do learn it, then you get to grow on to your next lesson and your next. It's how you eventually get to that God consciousness, that God-like mindset, like Jesus and Yeshua and all those. So
yeah, so it's what you're saying there is reminding me of one of the comments throughout these 3 or 4 episodes, is that it took one person 800 lives just to conquer jealousy alone. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, really think about that. You're going to come, if you're working on a lesson, it may take a while.
Right.
But I mean, think about 800 years compared to eternity.
Yeah.
I mean, time doesn't matter.
Because everybody doesn't know what it's like to live like this or to live like that or to be this or to be that. You don't have a complete of what it's like to be all things. You don't. You know what it's like to be you. But do you really have what it's like to be everybody? Nah, it takes a ways, and it takes a while to get to that point.
Exactly.
And that's what you got, your Yeshuas and your Jesus and your all these masters. That's what they've done.
Yeah.
And they came back and showed us how to do it too. It starts in the mind, starts with a diet, starts with conscious decisions on doing right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap things up. I like this one right here, Daphne, to be honest with you. And this really does wrap it up, and I feel the same way. And would you like to go ahead and read this last comment right here, and then we'll just go ahead and wrap up on commenting on it?
Yeah, it is a really good one and very to the point, and it says, what is not commonly known is that the life review can and should be started right here, right now. Know thyself. And really think about that. If you're living in harmony, living in love, doing good and being kind, you're not going to have a whole lot to face on the other side. Yeah.
You'll have a more beautiful life review.
Exactly.
Which was going to put you at a different vibration.
Start it right here, right now. That is a beautiful and wonderful statement to end the 4 series on.
That's right. This is number 4 of the series.
Yes,
it is a very, very good way to wrap it up. I like that. And again, we've said that many times here on this podcast that fix what you can fix now. If you've harmed somebody, go fix it. Maybe hard, but go fix it now because you can fix it. If not, you're going to have to face it later. So why not do what you can do now? Fix anything that you've broken, right all the wrongs, anybody you've harmed or hurt, fix all that stuff. And love from here on out, make the choice to live. And a loving, consciously choosing to love and serve others.
A life of servitude.
Live a peaceful life of servitude and gratitude, of course.
Exactly, yeah.
Love all, harm not.
That's right. And I love that statement. It is so beautiful, and we do need to live that way.
Yeah, that's the way it is. It's that simple. Love all,
it raises the vibration.
There you go. Absolutely. Speaking of, we love you all so much, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to visit the website, NDE world, for more information. And until next time, we love you guys so much. May peace be with you all. And I guess we're going to go ahead and just wrap things up. Miss Daphne, if you've got any kind of final comments here. If not, we're going to go ahead and, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode.
Sounds good. No, just always, be kind to each other. Live, laugh, love.
Yeah, I love that. Live, laugh, love. Love you all, guys. Peace be with you all. Until next time.
Y'all let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.